Beautiful, beautiful. So we see a few more people slowly coming in, but we'll start right away. So how you guys doing? My name is Romel. I am a filmmaker here in Los Angeles, of course, and welcome to The Follow-Up. This is a platform that was created in order to, or with the intention of bringing like-minded individuals together as far as creatives are concerned to network and share resources. I know so many dope, talented individuals, and I've always wondered, how I know so many creative people that don't know each other. Like I have friends who do music and friends who produce music that don't know each other. So my goal is to bring everyone together to share resources. Like I said, Valencia, do you want to introduce who you are and what you do?
Come on now, I'm not going to pass up a chance to talk. So hello, everyone. First of all, thank y'all so much for pulling up virtually. I mean, listen, you got your phone in your hand, your laptop in front of you. We appreciate you right now. We locked in. So I am Valencia King. I'm actually located in Dallas, Texas. I am a journalist, talk show host, sports reporter. Again, I just love to talk. You don't have to raise your hand, but drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever gotten in trouble for your school or during school hours for talking. That was me. I just, okay, I'm not alone. I see 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, Tamisha, yes. Not alone here. My people, we're here with each other. But yeah, I'm excited for y'all to join us today, and we're gonna have some fun.
Absolutely. Did you say that you were a producer on this? Did you say that?
I did not say that. Yeah, I am producing this along with Romel, obviously. And, Romel be having a lot of great ideas. And I just like to bring in the organization component, line it all up. I don't know if I have any type A's in here, type A people, but I like to a little structure, just a little structure. That's me.
Hey, listen, this would not be going on if it wasn't for you. So I appreciate you. But the way that this event is going to flow, we're going to start off with a couple icebreakers to get acquainted with each other, to get familiar. I don't want you guys to be shy. Followed by breakout rooms where you guys can mix, mingle, network, and exchange information. This is where I actually put you guys in smaller rooms, and it's a little bit more intimate. But when I say exchange contact information, there's no pressure to exchange your phone number, emails. I'm just really just talking about social media so we could take this off of this platform. The goal is to not just come here, talk, have fun. The goal is to actually extract resources and build in real life. So after the breakout rooms, we will get into our topic of today, which is independent filmmaking. That's why you guys are all here. So after that, we'll come back to the main room, wrap up, and close out. So just some housekeeping rules before we get started. These meetings will be recorded, so be presentable, come camera ready. Watch your language, please. I understand that we're all adults, but let's try to limit the amount of profanity that we are using. I'm really talking to myself because I have a potty mouth and I'm working on it. Don't judge me. But yes, we're running a family-friendly program, so let's be respectful of each other. Also, if you are not speaking, please make sure your mic is muted. Sometimes people come in hot. We clearly are experiencing that right now, but make sure when you come in, mute your microphone. We want to be respectful of those who are speaking and sharing whatever knowledge and wisdom that they want to share. And last but not least, please be yourself. This is not a platform where you have to present yourself a certain way. We want you to be yourself, have fun, and network. That's really what this is about. So I can't thank you guys enough for coming and attending this, because you guys could have been at somebody's brunch having mimosas right now, but you guys are here, which lets me know that you guys are serious about your career. And those are the people that I want to collaborate with, people who are serious about this, because it's not an easy journey. So yeah, did I cover everything? Let's see.
You did. I'm seeing a few familiar faces. Give me a number 2 in the chat if you guys were here with us when we did the first one a few weeks ago. Just let me know. Okay, all right. Okay, Jonathan. Hey, Jacoby. What's up, Tiffany? Okay. Love it. Yeah, I just wanted to show love to those of you guys who have been pulling up the second time around. So yeah, we can get started.
All right, cool. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna start off with the icebreaker. All right, and I want y'all to participate in this. Do not be shy. We're gonna play follow or no follow. All right, this is where we'll pair 2 people up at a time, and you have 2 minutes to deliver your best pickup line and get your partner to want to follow back. But when I say pickup line, it does not mean something romantic. It does not have to be that. It can literally be a creative way to get somebody to want to follow you back. All right. Just want to make that clear. There's no pressure to add romance. You can if you want, no pressure. All right. If you succeed, you get a follow. If not, you get blocked. All right. So we'll demonstrate the game really quick. And then if you guys want to play, raise your hand and we'll get it going. Valencia, are you ready?
Yes, I'm already laughing.
All right. Get into character. That's me double tapping. What's up? You gonna like me back?
I mean, listen, what you got on your profile that I need to be liking?
I mean, I'm on there. My work is up. Ma, stop, move. Sorry, that's my mama. She be here like every day, but she not on my page like that. So you could follow me back. She don't even worry about that.
Don't even, do your mama follow you? Because if your mama don't follow you, why should I?
No, she blocked. She not, don't even worry about her. She not even, Mom, stop. She be here every day, but she don't really live here, but she just be staying here sometimes. So yeah, but what's up? You trying to follow me back? Like I liked your page. Like I liked it.
First of all, you blocked your mama. I feel like there's some layers there.
Yes, to make room for you in my life. What are we talking about?
Is that right? Is that right? Okay, so if we making room for Valencia, what that room look like?
Well, I got a couch. I even got like a floor. The floor is like carpet though, so you're not even really got to sleep on the carpet. You have a chance to sleep on the couch or the carpet, whatever you want. It's your pick.
This room don't got no bed. This not a room I want to be in. It's not.
Define bed. Define that for me.
No, I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't. Not.
So what's up? You gonna follow me or not?
I'm not feeling the connection here. I think you're gonna stay in the suggestion area.
Wow, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll take the L. I'll take it. All right, so that's an example of the game. Clearly, I gave the worst scenario. You want to get somebody to actually follow you, or you can make it funny, whatever you want to do. So who? Felicia said blocked.
Well, yeah, it's blocked with a T.
Blocked. All right, so who wants to play? We have. Let me see. How do you see who's raising their hand?
Under the participants, let me see. You can raise your hand under the reaction button, or if I see you raising your hand physically, I can let you know. I see we have Ellie. Ellie has raised her hand.
Ellie and Steven. Is it Stephen or Steven? Stephen. You're on mute, sir.
No, you're off mute. We just can't hear you yet. Stephen or Steven is off of mute, but we can't hear you. So
we can't hear you for whatever reason. Maybe
maybe if you want to jump off or jump back on or check your settings on Zoom.
Yeah, we'll check your settings. But for now, we'll go with Ellie and is it Dijon? Dewan. Okay, you guys want to go? You gotta come off the you gotta share your video.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is why you should follow me. I'm real. I'm lit. You're looking for a 10. You're looking for a king. I'm esoterical, and I'll take you high.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about is like I'm a real man. I'm artistic. I'm spiritual. I'm balanced, and I got a lot of love inside, and I'm willing to share it. Double tap, you'll get a feature.
When you talk about spiritual, the devil was spiritual too. So how you going? Come on now.
No, I'm a king. I'm a child of God.
Oh, okay.
I'm made in His image.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite scripture?
Ephesians 2. In it, I knew you before you knew yourself. In His image you were born.
I like it. All right. Okay. So here's why you should follow me. I am a family person. I wouldn't consider myself spiritual. I have a relationship with God. We speak every day, like every minute. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Him. So, I praise Him every day. Anyway, so all of my work is on not all of my work, but most of my work is on my IG. So, I'm trying to, get in there the right way. I don't have to use any of this.
Now, when you mean get in there, the right way, we're talking about God, like snakes slithered their way in too. So how can I get my way in and know that I'm not gonna bite the apple and be naked in the end?
Because I don't do that. I am a woman of God. You hear me? Daniel
So
3.
was Eve.
So was Eve, but she wasn't in her right mind, you see? So you know.
So you a real one, you the Lilith that everybody was counting out?
I'm a real one because I don't have to show anything in order to get my foot in the door. You see what I mean?
I dig that.
Yeah. So my talent speaks for itself, you see.
You know what? Eve was talented too, but we was naked. So
yeah, but that's not the talent I'm speaking of. No, we don't talk about all that. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. My mama follows my page. My children follow my page. No,
all right, and time. So, y'all, what's the decision? Follow or blocked?
Follow both.
What about you? You said Dijon, right? Was it Dijon?
Dewan.
My bad, bro.
Yeah, it's cool, bro. I'm definitely gonna follow. Woman is powerful, persuasive, and you know, as kings out here, we need a woman like that. So I'm definitely gonna follow.
Yes, sir. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right, so y'all actually should really follow each other though, for real.
Oh yeah, we definitely got to after this improv for real.
Yes, sir. Okay, who else wants to play?
Yes, who is up next? Anybody want to jump in here?
Steve, did you figure out your mic situation? Nope.
No, not yet. Oh, okay. All right. I see. I want to say
maybe Steve, maybe try signing out and then coming back in. I don't know if you tried that already, or go into your Zoom settings and maybe your mic is off. I have no idea. But we have Angelique. Who wants to play with Angelique? Oh, we got the brother Mac. Okay. All right, so Mac, you're going to be trying to get Angelique to follow you. So whenever, I'm going to time it. You have 2 minutes.
All right. Angelique, yes. I just want to say, first and foremost, I think you should follow me because I'm kind of a social media legend. Like back in the day in MySpace, I had 6, maybe 7 followers. So, you know, I'm that kind of guy, right? If you follow me, you're going to get all the attention you need because there's so few of you that I have to tend to. How about that? Okay. I'm going off the pity case, but seriously, I love to travel. I take a lot of photos in the places that I go. And I would love to do something like a travel vlog. That would be pretty cool. So you could get to experience my vacations vicariously. That's why you should follow me.
Oh, okay. I like it. I like that you're a traveler. I do travel vlogging as well. I'm not that great at it. I'm amateur. I've been to several countries, Thailand, Amsterdam. I did research in Amsterdam. I'm a recent UCLA graduate of 2021, and I think I can write short films. I don't know. I feel like I'm creative. Like I have a foodie page online, and I like take pictures of food too. I have a really adorable puppy. She's over there. Daffodil, come. She's not listening. Come here so I can show these people I have a puppy so they can like me better. Come. No? Okay, she's not gonna come over here. So I take pictures of her as well. So yeah, I think we have a lot in common as far as loving travel and creativity and trying to build a social media page.
Use for your writing as far as like screenplay writing? Is that
I dabbled, like I don't know if you heard of the course Black Horror at UCLA where Jordan Peele came and lectured a few times, and I was in that little class, and so I did like some like amateur screenplay writing there.
Time.
Yeah.
Sound like y'all really want to follow each other for real.
Yeah, right. I'll have to figure out yes, Facebook.
Put your social medias. Everybody, put your social medias in the chat. We'll remind you guys later on. But yeah, just if you want people to follow you, put your social medias in the chat. We should all be following each other in here anyway. And all right, we're gonna play one more round. If there's any two more people who want to play before we go into our breakout rooms. So wait, who did? Is it Tamisha?
It's Tamisha.
Tamisha, hey,
Yeah.
How you doing, beloved?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Who wants to play with Tamisha?
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. I feel like the first two rounds, like these are actual real connections that are gonna happen.
That's beautiful.
That's what we're here for. That is exactly what we're here for. If we don't see a hand, Romeo, I guess you got to go again.
Joshua Reed said he want to play.
All right, bet.
I'll jump in.
Yes, sir. How you doing, bro?
Good, good. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing well by God's grace, bro. But yeah, whenever you're ready. So you're gonna try to get her to follow you back. You've already followed her. Not that you're not to be a stalker, but you've already followed her. You know who she is, and you're trying to get her to follow you back. You got 2 minutes.
All right, boom. So how do you pronounce your name one more time?
It's Tamisha.
Tamisha. That's a really beautiful name. Where are you from, Tamisha?
From Ohio and Tennessee.
Ohio and Tennessee. Is that where you currently live right now?
No, I'm in New York City right now.
New York. Okay, how long you been out there?
I'm in New York about now going on 4 years.
4 years? What? That's what's up. I went to New York like right before COVID, like pre-COVID. And am I echoing? Tamisha, oh my goodness.
It's
okay. Is that me?
Yeah, no, it was maybe someone else had their video. I mean, their sound on.
Bet. So yeah, I was out there like maybe 3 years ago, pre-COVID, for a film festival. It was really cold.
Which one? Which film festival?
The Harlem.
Oh, okay. I know.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the 48 hours in Harlem or something like that.
Yes, yeah, real similar to that. That's what's up. All right, well, my name is Joshua Reed. So I am an actor. I was out there for that film festival, and it was really dope. What type of things are you into? Like hobbies, activities?
Absolutely. So I'm also an actor. I moved to New York to study theater. That's like my primary bread and butter. However, I've done commercials and TV and film. But I would say hobbies. I have 4 nieces, love them. I love to travel, love to eat. Also,
not to cut you off really quickly. I'm gonna let you finish. Are you a follower of Jesus Christ?
Of course.
By any chance? Well, my name is Joshua. That means Jesus in Hebrew. So you should follow me back.
I mean, you already have to follow just because you didn't come off real hot. You came off real genuine. So the follow was already yours.
Boom.
Yeah.
Hey,
well, it was a pleasure meeting.
Hey, bro, you didn't even need 2 minutes for that. Okay. Shout out to you, bro. All right, so I appreciate you for participating. Now that we're acquainted a little bit, we kind of get the flow of kind of everybody in here as far as all being creatives. And like I said, I basically created this platform to meet like-minded individuals so we can network and share research. So we're going to go into a breakout room. This is going to be a smaller, more intimate vibe. So you guys in this breakout room, we're going to spend about 15, 20 minutes. I want you guys to give a 30-second plug yourself, introduce who you are, where you're located, what you're currently working on, what you need, and what you can offer. And then I also want you guys to exchange social media information. So you guys, like I said, take this off of these apps and into real life. So we're going, and then when we come back, we'll get into the topic of indie filmmaking and we'll talk more about that in depth. So
yeah, and as he's doing that, just how in this icebreaker we already had genuine connections, don't be afraid to actually connect with people. So it can happen just that fast. So not to be redundant, but like you said, earlier, be yourself, share what you need, what you're working on, and also what you can offer to people. So let's get connected, guys. And if he'll also put the information in the breakout room once y'all get there.
Yes, ma'am. All right, I'll see you guys when we come back in about 15 minutes. That should be enough time. All right. So for those who don't know, you just have to accept the invitation to enter the breakout room. You should be notified. Hi, Auntie.
Hi.
Butterflies behind you. Look at you. How did you get the background like that? I want a background.
I'll show you when you come over. I have a whole bunch of them.
All right. Well, yeah, if you want to go to one of the breakout rooms, did it notify you?
Yeah, just click join breakout room.
Yes.
Cheryl, Jamie, Romo. Romo, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, we can finally hear you. You're a little low, the volume's a little low, but we can hear you.
Okay.
So whoever wants to go first, I don't know if I interrupted you guys, but
So what are we doing now?
it's a little low.
What are we doing now?
You're gonna, oh, wow, I'm supposed to give the instructions in here. Thank you for reminding me. I need to broadcast it to all breakout. So you're going to introduce yourself, give a 30-second plug of yourself, who you are, introduce yourself, where you're located, what you're currently working on, what you need and what you can offer, and also your exchange contact information as far as any social media accounts that you have.
Okay. I'm Steve Hanley. I live in Grantham, New Hampshire. I'm a legal assistant. I do freelance writing on the side.
So I'm doing a lot of like kind of music videos to their graduation kind of thing. Whatever ideas they got, I kind of assist them with those things. So yeah, my connections or what I can offer other than editing. Well, what do I need? I guess connections is what you said as well. You know, just to get into like the short film industry or whatever you want to call it. So yeah.
Cool. It's nice to meet you, Dwayne and Shay. So I'll hop in. I'll go. I'm Tamisha Peterson. Again, I'm based in New York City.
Sort of do my own passion projects because I'm always producing friends like short films and stuff. Hey, Romel.
Peace.
We're doing your prom.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? I'm looking for, I guess, like a DP. I have some friends that edit and do all those other things, but I don't know anyone specifically that is just a DP and that's their thing. So would love to collaborate with whoever.
Mentoring and getting jobs. So if anybody needs any post-production support, I can always find good, strong people within that group. Yeah, I saw this and I'm just here to learn about indie filmmaking because I also have a few documentaries that I want to do as well on my own. So I just want to see how the process looks and it'll help me in my producing program.
Go ahead, Lauren.
Am I the only one?
Huh?
Whoever wants to go next. There's no structure or anything like that.
Okay, I went first, and then Tandi went after me, and then Shamika. So we have Rebecca left and Biswa.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hi. I am not sure what I should say, but anyway, I'm originally from the Miami area, South Florida. I'm currently
My public Instagram. I'm gonna follow everyone.
Cool, yeah. Take everybody's. Oh, and then London's gonna put hers too.
Okay. Super star production. follow. Uh, I don't know if this helps, but I used to be a writing tutor, so I can help with editing, editing papers and screenplays and whatever. Just proofreading.
Absolutely. I already need to work with you.
I followed you. I followed you.
Yeah.
If you know, hey Romel.
Hey,
If
oh, this
you
room
know,
is popping. Just the homies in here. What's up? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
no, you're good. If you know any other people in the industry that are some cinematographers, directors, editors, yada, 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 send them my way so I can add them to the database. Hopefully that'll be ready in the next, I want to say 3 months, because I really want to make sure it's beautifully made and easy for you guys to have access to. And then for me too, it's like, if you need an actor, I'm A1. So just let me know. That's it.
I'll go.
Hey guys.
Okay, so I've never actually met him in person, but Ramel and I are members of the same studio, the acting studio. Excellent coaches, excellent people that we work with. We pretty much have it all there, but it never hurts to network out. And you know, some people are like, yeah, I do this or I do that, but then you get to see it and you're like, I don't know about all that. So I've actually been in a lot of Darman videos. If you know who Darman is, I do a lot of work for him. Right now, me and probably about 10 or so members of our studio, we're working on a short, and we have the script, we're working on that, and we might actually be able to get some of y'all in it because it is centered around a musical couple, not necessarily a musical, but we are heads
objectively judge. So I just recently submitted to this website called Short of the Week. It's like Vimeo staff picks, and they have a service where like they'll judge your work, like a film festival, to give you notes.
Gotcha.
And I wanted to know what other people are doing before they put their work out publicly, how they're getting objective feedback outside of like their friends and family, what their process is.
girls, and they were youth cheerleaders, and it was just like, can we do this? No, we're not going to the club. No, we're not doing that, you know. So I feel that very, very deeply. I have a 22-year-old daughter, so she's also in the business. She's been on music video shoots, and it's just like, ooh, there's some things that you see as a mom, you see it and you're like, ooh, yeah, I can't get down with that, you know. But you know, in the same aspect, she's 22, so she's got to learn, you know. I pray that I've taught her well, and that she's got a good enough head on her shoulder that she can say, no, I'm not doing that, you know, not compromising anything. So I write, I act, I sing. What else? I think that's pretty much it. And I coach, obviously, because yes, that's kind of who I am. So I'm currently in Bakersfield, about an hour and a half north of my studio, which is in West Hollywood. I'm in LA all the time. If not LA, it's in Burbank. So I travel a lot. Is that it? Did I hit everything? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think you hit everything.
Oh,
Yeah. And no,
it's Noe.
No way. Thank you.
So I'm Noe, born and raised in Inglewood, California. I'm a filmmaker, a cinematographer, photographer to be exact. Currently in the business as well. Just finished Keenan season 2. Working on Facebook by Black Friday right now. So yeah, and that's what I do. I'm a filmmaker. So
Okay, I'll go next. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna
Go
say, how
ahead,
can we
girl.
support you? You know, how can we
Say that
support
again.
you? How can we
Oh,
support you?
follow, refer, hit me up if you guys need work, video work. And hitting you, I think I might have something for you ladies, because you guys said you do soundtracks and stuff. I'm working on a short film right now that might need some music. So yeah, and we might need extras. I see you, Ajima, because you said you are an actress as well, correct? So yeah, we have a scene where it's like a dinner scene. So we need people up in there interacting and stuff. And then was it Ellie? Did she put herself on mute? Yeah,
Yes.
Ellie.
Yes,
Okay. Yeah. So we'll be in contact. Just I dropped my socials in the chat. So it's in the OA Pics everywhere.
Does anybody know if we're gonna get the text of it? Because I missed a whole lot. I know there's a whole lot.
Mental health and mental health is just really important to me, and I want that to really show through my music, you know, like physical health and mind health and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what I really want to do with my music, and that's the vision that I have. And what I have, well, what I'm looking for, I guess, is like someone to help me with the production side of it, because I'm not really that educated on production. I'm learning a little bit, but you know, if I have someone to help, it'd be a little bit easier. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And yeah, I'm really wanting to release an EP hopefully by earlier next year. So we'll see how that turns out. And yeah, that's pretty much where I am right now. So
Drop those IG tags. I want to follow y'all, but I unless I'm just not seeing them.
Oh, I
on that
didn't
stuff.
type anything in the chat. Hold on, I'm like too busy eating.
Yeah, everybody, or those who I may have missed when I was trying to figure out my computer situation.
I was just about to say the same thing. It's nice to meet everybody. We have a very
So,
diverse group of people here.
Yes. How do I go back to the video? Oh, I am so just like technological
What the heck?
behind. There we go.
So I'm just curious for the people out in LA and all these cool places. I feel like Michigan is very quiet and sometimes boring. I'm in news right now and I'm trying to figure out like how do you even, it's almost like if you work in news, you're kind of stuck in news. So how do you go from, if anybody has any ideas, how do you go from being in that kind of industry and branch out to something film related versus news related?
Marcus, my roommate is actually used to work in news, and he just made his transition over into music. You're All Marcus Productions, right? That's you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, when you follow back, I can shoot you his page, and maybe y'all can connect because he did news.
So you could just pretty much just hit Ramel up for whatever information that you would want, and there he is right there.
Hey, Auntie.
Hey, boo. So again, just well connected. So I see the chats, I see what you guys are typing in there. So you guys are pursuing it. You guys definitely can do this, and he is the guy that has the information. Or if not, if he doesn't have the information, he'll definitely find the information. And 9 times out of 10, he'll probably run it through me first, and I'll give him the information.
Absolutely.
I think that was it.
Did everyone go?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, you guys could continue chatting. We're going to give about probably 5 more minutes because I know a lot of people in the other rooms are still connecting. So I don't want to cut you guys off. So I'll see you guys back in the main room in about 5 minutes. Am I tripping or is nobody talking?
Yeah, it's a little quiet. We have some.
Did everyone go?
Ramel,
Yes, sir.
I made the brilliant, I was in a different group and I made the brilliant decision to try and put my picture up and it kicked me out of the group I was in.
What room were you in?
I think I was in 4.
Who's
Not that these aren't nice people, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. Who's speaking?
My name is Tandi Sizwe.
All right, I'm gonna move you back to 4 right now. He said he don't want to be in here with y'all. He want to go back to 4.
It's not what I said.
They be playing music in 4.
No, I'm just playing, beloved. I'm gonna send you back right now.
Did everybody go, or looks like everybody went?
Yeah, I think everybody went.
I know we couldn't hear Steven.
Cheryl, where you going?
Huh?
Where you headed?
I just did a family shoot. So I'm sitting in a car because I have a little birthday I have to go to. So I got time to spare, and I'm not close to home.
Understood.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So yeah, we'll go back probably in about 3 minutes. I just want to make sure everyone, because last time people were like, "Oh, I wish we had longer." So this might be too long. I don't know. Trial and error. We'll see. You know.
Well, what else are we supposed to do here? Outside of introductions.
Actually connecting. So have you given everybody your social media?
I think we did that in the chat and stuff. I mean, this is new for me. I've never been on a thing like this before.
Okay.
So.
Steve, are you still having trouble with your sound?
Yeah.
Well, I can hear you a little bit.
Yes, I'm trying to figure out the sound with Steven right now. So yeah.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Handle y'all business. You know what I'm saying? I'll see y'all back in the main room.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Recording in progress.
Perfect.
Okay, so I could look at my computer and you can hear me on my phone. Okay.
Yeah, I've definitely had to do that before because sometimes I love technology, but technology does what it wants to at times.
Yeah.
And it's always when you're in the dire need for it, that is when it wants to do something.
Yeah.
Never when you don't need it.
Yeah.
Never when it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, she wants to do a whole Zoom meeting. Let me do it real quick. And today is the day. Perfect. Well, wait, Stephen, were you able to, is this the first time y'all are hearing Stephen? He sounds like his volume is just on low.
Parts of what he was saying.
Okay. Okay.
Valencia, are you signed in on another device?
I am not.
Okay.
Do you see me?
Well, I can hear you. I can hear you in the main room.
Whatever it wants to do. I mean, my voice does carry in person. I didn't know it did that on Zoom too. And Steven, say something into your phone again.
Hi, can you hear me now? Anyone hear me now? Checking 1, 2. Anything? No, I can hear myself.
Stephen, we hear you. It's just an echo on your end.
Okay.
All right. We're back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Make sure you guys are muting when you guys are coming here because we're just gonna get a lot of feedback. All right.
Okay.
So you want to take it from here, Valencia?
Sure. So I was in a couple of the breakout rooms, and I really just appreciate you guys getting a chance to know each other. That is what we are here for. Of course, if you were able to grab the socials, or if you're doing socials, emails, however you were exchanging information, drop that in the chat if you were not able to get that in your individual breakout rooms. But again, I know when everyone drops it, the chat moves fast, so no worries. We'll tell you, we will remind you guys throughout the rest of the festivities. If anyone had needed, I know we kind of cut off, it gives you like a minute warning. Did anyone need to do a follow-up real quick from the breakout room? Did y'all get all your points across or get all the contacts needed? If you need to be like, hey, yo, Brad, I need that number, you know, anything like that, feel free to do that at the moment. No? Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure you guys had an opportunity for that. So yeah, right now, we are gonna get into this amazing conversation that, and okay, real quick.
Does anyone want to share their breakout room experience? Or did you want to?
Yeah, that we can do that too. We can do that too. You know what I'm saying, Rami? So we can do that too. I mean, I can start. I was in breakout room. I want to say number 8 was a number. We had Jacoby in there. Eva was in there. Okay. All right. Yeah, Ramel. Eva was in there. She's lovely. Love her. One of the things we mentioned in that room with Eva is just how important it is to have family support, whether that's your actual family by blood or your chosen family. If you guys want to give me, I've already used the 1 and 2, give me a 3 in the chat if there's been times in your career where you really needed that support and you were able to find that, whether it's your family or your chosen family, if it's just helped you at any time in your career or just life in general. Okay, seeing a lot of 3s. Yes, 3. All right, I see you, Duan. Because at some point, it can just be a lot. You can just feel like, why am I doing this? Why did I pursue this? I chose the wrong career. Do I even like this anymore? And that's when you need those people that remind you of your why. They remind you of your gifts. They remind you of your purpose. They remind you that you're needed. So shout out to the ones that remind us of all of that. So we kind of had a conversation about that. We also had Isaac and Jacoby that were practicing that writing muscle. So whatever your craft is, the importance of just kind of practicing it, whether you're going to use what you write or don't, just getting in the habit of practicing it every day or however many times a day, whatever the allotted time is, just getting used to that. I see Ellie has a hand. Ellie, would you like to share? Yes.
I was gonna say, just to piggyback off what you were saying, I had this kid that had emailed me or messaged me on Instagram, and he was asking all kinds of questions. And I realized that while he might have been doing some stuff as far as productions go, he didn't have the information. So I just broke down what I knew. And he was like, you know what? I've never gotten this. Thank you so much for helping me, for answering me. And I was just like, are we not doing this now? I mean, I'm not in competition with you. You're not in competition with me. How are we not helping our young actors? Because he's like 19. And I'm like, how are we not helping our young actors? So this is a perfect platform for actually helping the ones coming up, because we don't all know everything, but somebody knows what we need. So
That's beautiful. All praises due to God. Thank you for sharing that. That's exciting. But I mean, to kind of echo that point, it's like, it is a thing that's happening to where it's like this competitive nature, and we're kind of, I know I was trained to be that way. So I had to kind of break out of that. Like, okay, like everybody not your competition, you know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to underrepresented voices, like we have to help each other. We have to network across. So thank you for sharing that. Do we have anybody else? We have one more more person who wants
I was gonna jump in and say, to piggyback off of that, as far as like the younger generation or people that are just starting off, one of the things that we discussed in our breakout, I was in, I think, room 2, and I was saying one of my best experiences, which again, my name is Joshua Reed, for those that may not have been here earlier. I'm here in Dallas. One of the things that really helped me out was student films at universities. Especially a lot of students that were working on like thesis films and things like that created such a platform for us and for me, just as an actor, with being able to kind of be in those spaces and network, because we were with people, you know, for a couple of days out of a week or a weekend, and you know, that would be kind of like the melting pot of where everybody was there together. You know, I started working with a friend when he was like a sophomore, and then we went all the way up until he graduated. And by the time he graduated, from the amount of student short films that I had worked with from just different people on the campus, we were able to travel from back and forth to Los Angeles, to San Francisco, to Las Vegas, to Oklahoma. And we would just follow wherever those films were going. And when we did, we were able to kind of connect with other, you know, filmmakers, other actors, other directors, other writers, because we were all, you know, spending time with each other, you know, like I said, like a weekend. Most film festivals be about 3 to 4 days. And you're seeing these people every day, almost all day, you know, sitting in different films and seminars and classes. And that was an experience that I'm thankful for, just from within my journey of my career, because it really helped lay a solid foundation of people that were all getting started together at the same time and kind of working their way up together.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing, Joshua. I appreciate it. Jace is also giving some information in the chat, so appreciate you for sharing that. If anyone else would want to share. If not, I can turn it over to Romizi, but this is what it's for, you know, these conversations that we're having, the information and resources that we're sharing. This is what the follow-up is about, not just following on social media, but actually making these connections. Because I use this phrase a lot because my mama used this phrase and her mama used this phrase. It takes a village. Your village may not always look like what you grew up around, but the village includes, you know, the networking across instead of trying to network upward, your family, your friends, the people you meet at the coffee shop. Somebody you maybe meet only one time could give you some advice that you take with you for your lifetime. So this is what these moments are for.
Ado, we will get into the topic. Let me brace myself. All right. I just want to be candid with you guys. I get really passionate about this subject matter. So please don't mistake my passion for aggression. It is just passionate. I love this subject matter. This is my career. So I can get a little passionate. So independent filmmaking, how to get started. All right. Independent filmmaking literally just means any film or project that is made outside of the studio system. And I understand that a lot of people don't even understand what indie filmmaking. Indie is just a slang word for independent. All right. So I want you guys to type in the chat. How many of you guys have been told no by Hollywood? Type a 1 in the chat. That's a lot of ones. All right. Including myself. And, you know, as creatives, as filmmakers, as actors, we hear no a lot in Hollywood. And we almost kind of normalize it to where we think this is normal. But what's beautiful about that is we can literally create and greenlight our own projects and create our own yes. Like we don't have to wait on Hollywood to do any of this stuff for us. So these are the top, I want to give you guys the top 5 things that you need to know in order to get started, because I have been blessed by the grace of God to be able to organize and produce 8 short films of my own. I have 2 features that I'm currently in development for. So I just want to share my knowledge, because a lot of people hit me up asking how to do this stuff. And I always thought it was common sense. Like, I'm like, okay, well, you do this and you put, like, of course I had to learn and I had to gain the knowledge, but I didn't understand that it was actual skill set. Like, I know that sounds silly, but I didn't understand that a lot of people didn't know how to do this stuff. So this is my way of helping out, and hopefully I can be a resource to you, since I have produced 8 short films of my own. So the top 5 things you need to know in order to get started. So the first one I'm going to say is mindset. Like, you have to understand that this is not an overnight process, right? Like, a lot of times we see people get their big break. We see people be successful and break out, but we don't understand that those careers are usually 9 times out of 10, 20, 30 years in the making. Like, with this TikTok era, with this social media influencer era, and no disrespect, right? I'm not coming at influencers or TikTokers, but this has created like a culture of instant gratification, in my opinion, because, you know, you post some things online and you're making content, but then when it comes to filmmaking, you're not understanding that this is a process. You have to actually learn the skill set, and then it takes time to actually develop the skills and get good at it. And then it takes time to break into the industry. There are, you know, rare cases where an overnight success happens, but having the proper mindset is super important, unless you're going to get into this business and you are going to be disappointed, because things are not about to just, and this career is not linear, right? It's up and down. Like there's times where things are going great, and there's a lot of downtime where things are not going great. You have to have the proper mindset, and in order to do that, you have to have a strong foundation. You need to understand, what is your why? Why are you doing this? Because having a strong why will be the fallback that you fall back on when things are getting rough and your career isn't going, quote unquote, the way you think that it should go, right? So having a strong why is super important. It's the first thing that you need. Like, why are you doing this? Are you doing this for attention? Are you doing this to be famous? Are you doing it to make an impact in the world? I'm not the judge of that. You have to make that decision for yourself. So I'll share with you what my why is. Again, I started off as an actor, right? Hollywood was telling me no. Not only were they telling me no, they were giving me all these stereotypical roles. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm not even, whatever. Well, I ain't gonna get into it. I'll get more passionate than I'm already am. But they were giving me all these stereotypical roles. I wasn't, but I was getting callbacks, and I was, you know, doing these small independent projects, not small, they're independent projects. Any project is a big project. So I was doing these indie projects, and most of them wouldn't even come out. Like, I'm like, yo, we put our blood, sweat, and tears in this project, and no one sees it. And so I was like, all right, what am I doing this for? Like, I could just make my own projects. So I say that to say, my why was, I wanted to change the narrative and change the stereotypes surrounding Black men in our society. And I can do that by the use of motion pictures, because God has given me a skill set and the gift of being able to translate things into moving images. So I know how to tell a story with moving images. I can do so even without words, even without dialogue. I can still communicate a message to you. So I didn't understand the whole totality of it at first, but that was my why. And that's still my why. If you see a lot of my work, it is centered around Black people in America. You know what I mean? I write from my experiences. So I'm like, okay, Hollywood wants to do this. Okay, I'm gonna do that. You know, I'm going to create my own opportunities and not just complain about it on social media and feel sorry for myself, when I could do for myself what I'm asking Hollywood to do for me. So I'm making sure that I'm touching on everything. Having a strong why is super important. That was my why. And my first short film is called America's Pitbull. And I'll kind of get into that later. But number two, I want to be real with y'all. I don't want to sugarcoat anything. Type a 2 in the chat if I can be real with y'all. I just want to know that this is a safe space. I want to be candid. I don't want to hold nothing back from y'all. So how do I say this in the kindest way?
Two for what?
Say that again.
2 for what?
The second thing you need to know in order to get started as an independent filmmaker. So I said type a 2 in the chat if I can be honest and candid with you guys, because I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but I have to get this off my chest. So you have to develop your idea or ideas before you bring them to people. Like, everyone has an idea. It has little value. Like, you know how many ideas I have? So if you come to people with just an idea, that, like, what is that? Like, actually why would somebody, I want to say this in a kind way. I don't want to be mean. I'm just saying, please develop your ideas before bringing them to people. And I understand that a lot of people don't know how to develop their ideas, but you need to understand, all right, so you have your idea. This is how you develop it. You need to understand what kind of project it is. You have to make a decision, because if you're coming to me with just an idea and I ask you, the first question I'm going to ask you is like, okay, what kind of project is it? And then you tell me, oh, I don't know. It could be a short, it could be a feature, it could be a series. No, it can't be anything. You need to make a decision. Now it's starting to feel like you want me to do the work for you. It's cool, you have an idea, but I have ideas too that I'm developing. So develop your idea before you want to present them to collaborators. So all right, you have your idea. You have to decide what kind of project you're making. Is it a short? Is it a feature? Is it a stage play? And then you have to figure out what story are you telling. All right. It's all about story and character. So you have to figure out, all right, is this a story about a young kid who finds love, guidance, and brotherhood in an unexpected father figure? You know what I mean? Like, you have to figure out where you're going with this story, and then you have to turn that into a outline. You have to outline where your story is going and then turn that outline into a script. And so for me, I know a lot of people starting off don't understand how to put things together. So I actually have an 11-step story structure that I use in order to outline everything and outline my story. So I start with the character's overall want. And if I know where my character is starting and the end, where my character ends up, because your character has to go on a journey. If you watch any of your favorite movies, the way that the character starts off is not how the character ends. Like, the character should be a completely different person and learn something new. Like, even in TV series, if you watch Insecure, the first season of Insecure, Issa is not where she is now in season 5. Like, there has to be a character arc, and this stuff is planned ahead of time. I'm probably pretty sure that Issa and her team outlined the seasons from season 1 to season 5 before even pitching to HBO. They're not going to come to HBO like, I have an idea. It's about a woman in LA struggling through trials and tribulations and relationships. No, she planned out the seasons before pitching it. That's how she got the show, because she had this stuff planned out. You have to plan this stuff out in order for people to take you seriously, because everybody has an idea. So hopefully I didn't hurt anyone's feelings. I'm trying to be kind, but that is super important. I actually want to share with y'all a story and I'm gonna sum it up, but this is the biggest lesson that I learned in this industry. I met in 2014, before I even made a film. I was an actor, but I saw this movie called Fruitvale Station and it changed my life. It blew my mind, because I'm like, it was the first time I saw on the screen like a character that I 100% identify with. I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, he talks like me. He talks to his girl like I talk to my girl. Like, he talks to his homies the way that I talk. We use the same lingo, because I'm from LA. He's from the Bay. You feel me? So I was like, oh wow, like I could be myself. Like, I could put myself on screen. I never knew that. So I saw the film, and there was a scene in the film that Ryan wrote, and it's when Oscar befriends the pit bull. And I didn't understand the scene or the context of the scene at the time, but after watching the movie, like, it really changed my life. So I researched the filmmaker. I was like, who wrote this? Because whoever wrote this knows what they're talking about. Like, this is too close to home. So, and I watched the interview of Ryan, and he was talking about, how that scene was foreshadowing, and it was symbolic of, Black men. It was actually foreshadowing what would happen to the main character at the end of the script, because Oscar is left to die in the street, just like the pit bull was. And we are, as Black men, America's pit bull. We're often labeled as violent, vicious, inhumane, and left to die in the street. So that, I was like, that just in that scene, I was like, oh yeah, he's next level. So I was inspired to write my own interpretation of that. So I wrote the script, and I think I really I know I manifested this, because I'm working a valet job at the time in Beverly Hills. I wrote the script, and I cannot make this up. 2 weeks later, my coworker is like, yo, because at the time Ryan had just got off of the heels of like the success of Fruitvale. He was in pre-production for Creed. So no one really knew he wasn't famous yet. No one really knew who he was, but I knew who he was because the movie changed my life. I was like, yo, this dude is about to take off. So I knew what was going on. My coworker, he's like, yo, because I worked the night shift. It was like midnight. He's like, yo, ain't this your boy? He's about to check in. And I was like, you're lying, bro. He's not about to check in this hotel. He said, I swear to God, it says Ryan Coogler. I was like, this is crazy. So I didn't speak to him. He checks in, and I didn't speak to him right away. I'm over here parking his car because I didn't know what to say to him. Like, yo, how do you tell this man he changed your life? Like, I don't know. So I finally mustered up a conversation with him. This is his last day. He's about to go fly to Philly to start prep for Creed. And I was like, yo, bro, I just want to let you know, like, you inspire me, and I appreciate what you're doing. And he kind of looked at me like confused because he think I'm just a valet dude. He don't know that I'm a creative, like trying to make films. So, and I was telling him about this idea that I had for America's Pitbull. I was like, bro, yeah, it's inspired by you. And I want to shoot the car scene, how you shot Oscar in the car. And he gave me a lot of game. He was like, yeah, you know how we shot that, right? We rigged the camera to the car and shot it. Like, he was giving me a lot of game. So we ended up exchanging contact information. I told him that I have an idea. I said, yo, I have this idea for this film. I would love for you to read the script. And he was like, he was so kind. He was like, yeah, we exchanged information. And I sent him the script and he didn't respond. Like, he didn't get back to me. So I was like, okay. So I shot the film and then I sent him the finished product. And then he emailed me back and he was like, yo, this is dope, bro. Continue to send me your work. And the fact that he even thought it was dope, I was like, wow, that's all I needed. But I say that to say that was the biggest lesson that I learned is like, he responded when I sent him something tangible for him to actually like, yo, I'm serious about this. This is not just an idea, because his time is valuable. He doesn't, who is he to read? He's not, I mean, if he chooses to, he's busy. He's in pre-production for Creed. He's not about to read a script. So it was better for me to send him something tangible for him to see and to show him that I was serious. So that was the biggest lesson that I learned starting off. Develop your ideas before you come to people because it'll get a better response. Sorry that was so long-winded, but it's important for you guys to know. All right, I'm gonna go to number 3, which is prepping for production. This is the third thing you need to know. You're gonna take a sip of water because my mouth is dry and I'm hot. So give me a second, I'm sorry.
Well, while you're taking a sip of water, can I jump in real quick?
Yes, sir.
I'm a sister, not a sir.
Oh,
that's okay.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry.
All good, all good. I was saying in the breakout room, I'm a journalist, freelance grassroots journalist, and I want to make this leap into writing. And one of the highlights of my journalism was I was able to cover the trial of Oscar Grant's murderer here in Los Angeles. And it affected me to the point where I actually wrote a book about it. So I've done print journalism, radio journalism. I've written a book, and now I want to get into screenwriting and filmmaking. So I feel you when you talk about Fruitvale Station. It was very, very powerful, very powerful. And to know that that was what inspired you to do your work, I'm like, wow, that's great. That's wonderful.
Yes, all praise is due to God. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna get through this. Number 3, preparing for production. All right, there's a lot that goes into the preparation of production. I'm only laughing because I've been on so many sets where I get on the set of independent film production and I'm like, all right, what are we shooting? And the first AD, the directors don't know, but they kind of just winging it. And I'm like, yo, you cannot just show up and wing it. This is the process that has to be planned. Like, this is mathematical science. Like, literally, you have to understand how to calculate how long each setup and each take is going to take. Of course, you're not going to calculate it perfectly, but it all needs to be like mathematically calculated so you can meet your day and you're not wasting everybody's time. So in order to do that, you need vital documents such as a call sheet, which lets actors and crew members know what is being shot, the time and locations of what is being shot. And it also indicates everyone's individual call time. So everyone knows what time they need to show up and where specifically. All right. Everybody does not need to show up at the same time. That's how you waste a lot of people's time and you rub people the wrong way. You're going to need a shot list. A shot list is a list of each shot needed for each shoot day. And a shooting schedule is a breakdown of the shots needed with the time allotted for each setup, the type of shot, and the scene that is being shot. So I know this sounds like a lot because it is, but it's important that you actually plan and schedule all this stuff. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to show up on the day not being prepared with a shooting schedule, because it looks unprofessional if you schedule Zach for an 8 a.m. call time if his scene doesn't shoot till 3 p.m. Like, Zach is gonna be like, well, why'd you call me to the set at 8 a.m.? That's why this is super important. And having these vital documents will prevent your actors from being on set when they're not needed. It will prevent your crew members from showing up to the wrong location. And it'll also prevent you from having an atrocious set and developing bad habits and a bad reputation in Hollywood, because you have these sets and you're having people come out and do you favors just for you to waste their time. They're gonna imagine you're trying to build your reputation and then you have a terrible set. Those people are going to talk about your terrible set, and other people aren't going to want to work with you. If you develop good habits and have a great set, people are going to talk about you in a positive light, and it's going to make other people want to work with you. Like, people just think about themselves and it's like, it's not about you. You have a whole team of people. You have to understand that this is a collaborative effort. It is not just about you. And if you're doing it for vain reasons, it's going to show and it's going to rub people the wrong way. Of course, this is all my opinion and my experience, but take it, leave it, whatever. Number 4 is conflicts. All right. You're going to need to understand how to respond and deal with certain conflicts, because like I said, you can do all this preparation, right? But everything is not going to go according to how you planned it, because God is the best planner. You are not. You can only prepare yourself for what's to come. So dealing with conflicts is super important, because you might deal with a weather change, right? Like, you anticipated to shoot this exterior shot and then it starts raining. What are you going to do? Are you going to panic? No, you're not going to panic, because you are the leader of the set. And if you start panicking, what you think everyone else is going to do? You need to be calm and collected. And if you have prepared for this type of stuff, you will know and have backup locations. Like, okay, I prepared for this. So if the weather changes, we just change this to interior. It's not a big deal. You deal with that with your first AD and the producers. Do not go to your crew members and actors. Don't let them know that things are going wrong, because they don't need to know that. They need to be in their creative flow. So learning how to respond to conflicts is super important. And I want to share with you guys something that happened to me on one of my productions. It was one of the first times where I had some money. All right. I had a budget and I lost the location. Like, I guess the location double booked me on the day. So I show up with my crew, and they're talking about, yo, like, we have an event already. So I was confused, because I thought that we were on the same page, but apparently we were not. So wait, hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out. You guys can hear me properly, right?
Yes, indeed. We can hear you.
Okay. It's because when I'm speaking, I'm not coming on the screen for whatever reason, but you guys can see me too?
Yes. Yes,
All
indeed.
right. Perfect. All right. What was I saying? Oh, I lost the location. So I pulled it up with my set, me and my crew members, and they're talking about we can't shoot in there. So these things happen, and this is why it's important, like I said, to have backup locations, have backup actors, just in case things fall apart. They didn't really fall apart because you prepared for it and you're ready for whatever. So I lost the location, and me and my team, we had to scramble to find a last minute location. We lost money, but at the same time, I needed that experience because it taught me how to respond to these conflicts that are to come. It's inevitable. You can plan as much as you want, but you are going to meet conflicts. So imagine if you don't prepare, what is going to happen? Like, I don't understand the lack of preparation, but yes, I understand that people sometimes don't understand what all goes into this stuff, but it is a lot of planning, a lot of preparing, and a lot of responding to a lot of the BS. So that was number 4. So number 5, I want to say is, and I'm super big on this, and I'm really passionate about this too, because it goes back to the first point of what I was going through when I first started and why I even started this. But finishing your work is, it's really crucial, and I want to explain why. Because imagine you invited all these people, you got all these people to rally up behind you and support you, and of course, if you're starting on a lower end, a lot of these people are doing you favors. So imagine them spending their hard-earned time, effort, energy, and then you just don't put it out. Like, that is unacceptable. You have to put, even if it's whack, right? You have to put out your work, because it's not just about you, it's about the collective, right? So even if it's whack, people will respect you for actually doing it and actually completing it. So it's not even about if it's good or not. It's about the fact that you did it, and your peers will start to respect you, because we understand, and even people higher up in higher levels, they understand how difficult it is to get this stuff done. So off rip, off GP, you get the respect for completing it. Now, if it's good, that's the icing on the cake. But guess what? You get, if it's whack, you get to take the knowledge that you learned from this first one and apply it. Boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, you're 8 films in, about to make a feature. Like, the first one is not supposed to be good. Now, if it is good, then okay, that's cool. But it's not about it being good or not. You have to put this stuff out, because people will respect that. And then you'll start to meet people in the industry who you're a fan of. And then they start telling you how they're a fan of you. And you're like, whoa, like, I didn't even know you knew my work, but that's cool. You know what I mean? So finishing your work is super important, because most people don't. They have the fear of keeping, like, holding on to it for the fear of what people are going to say. But I promise you, it's less about if it's good or not, and the fact that you actually completed something and you set out to do something that people know for sure is not an easy thing to do. So just to recap, the top 5 things you need to know in order to get started are having a proper mindset. Number 2, developing your idea. Number 3, preparing for production. Number 4, responding to conflicts. And number 5, finishing your work. So hopefully I got my points across. Does anyone have any specific questions that you would like to ask in regards to this process, or in regards to filmmaking in general?
Yeah, your 11-step story structure.
I will be addressing that. We'll be addressing that, brother.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Lauren, I see you.
Okay. How do you establish funding for, or how did you establish funding for your first short film, and like locations? Because you kind of want to, I like how you kind of say, like, set the tone of your set. Like, so how did you do about that?
So are you referring specifically to my first one?
Yeah, your first one, like your first one.
So what I did was, so I've always kept my career, and this is just me. I'm not telling y'all to do this. This is what I did. So you asked me what I did. So I'm not saying that this is the Bible or anything. But what I did was, since I was an actor, I took a night job, and I made sure that my night job left me availability during the day to do my creative endeavors. So at the time, I always kept and we go back to mindset, right? Like, career was always number one. The job was never number one. Nothing was going above my career. So anything that I was doing, it had to aid what I was doing outside of the job. So I would I would take my checks, and every time I would get paid, put money aside, because I knew that I was going to leave this job soon. I had no intentions on being there long term. So I was saving money to use for the production. And at the time, I didn't know how much it would cost. I didn't even know what a budget was. Ryan, going back to Ryan Coogler, he asked me what my budget was. I didn't even know what that was. I was like, what is a budget? Like, and I feel so silly. I did not know what he was talking about. He asked me what my budget was. So that was another lesson. Like, okay, I need to know what that is. Like, what is that? So I would save money up, and I saved like a couple $1,000s, right? So, and then I found God really orchestrated this. So I found a DP. He was making the same kind of content that I was making. So I didn't even know what a DP was at the time. I'm thinking that we were both directing it. Even though I was directing it and he was the cinematographer, I thought we were both directing. So in America's Pitbull, if you watch the credits, it says directed by both of us. Because at the time, I'm like, we both directing it, whatever. So I met him because he was a photographer and he was trying to get into cinematography. So it was a perfect marriage, and we spoke the same language as far as the stories that we wanted to tell. So I met with him, I set up a lunch with him, and I was like, look, bro, this is the idea that I have. I have a script, and he understood it. So what I did was I casted my little brother. He's right there. He's the poster. I casted my little brother because he was the perfect one for the role. So I'm using the resources around me. So I casted my little brother. And I think I had to come out of pocket for a couple things, but the location, if you watch the film, we stole a lot of shots. Like I went into the liquor store and we asked them, could we shoot in the liquor store? They said no. So it was like, all right, we got one take to get this. And then we went in there like real, like low key, and we got the shot. It worked. So yeah, it was that. And then I sat down with him after we shot it. It was a 1-day shoot and I shot it chronologically, but that is not always the case. Sometimes you have to schedule this and you're not shooting everything in order. So you might be shooting the last scene of the script on the first day, but in this, I didn't know anything about that. So I was shooting in chronological order. And once we shot it, I sat down with my DP because he was also an editor. So I learned how to edit because of him, because I sat down and I was even though I didn't know necessarily like the technical stuff, I knew I had a vision. I knew how I wanted it to be. So I sat down with him and we had editing sessions and I learned like simple cuts. And it just got to the point where it was a drawn out process. So the next film, I ended up editing myself, but I say that to say, like, I sat down and learned that. And then we came up with a plan, like, all right, we're going to distribute this on Christmas. And we didn't know what was going on. I just put it out there. I'm not thinking anything of it. Like, really, this was me trying to see if I could even tell a story. And then I put it out. People loved it. People hit me talking about like, yo, this should be at film festivals. I was like, yo, what are film festivals? How do you submit to film festivals? So I had to learn all this stuff as I went, but really I didn't want to just say, just do it because that's so vague, but that's how I did it. It's literally like taking the steps and you learn as you go. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Ellie, you have a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask, you said develop your ideas before bringing them to someone. Now, the short that we're working on, it's a bunch of us from the studio. We're working on this short. We had talked about possibly doing the short versus a feature film versus a web series. So I think we're kind of decided on the short, but can we at a later date kind of develop the short into a feature? Is that still, or is that frowned upon?
Yeah, so now you're talking strategy. So that's perfect that you say that, because when I started off, I was just making short films. Like I didn't think anything of it, but now you start talking strategy. Like, what is the purpose of this short film? Is it just a one-off, or do you want this to be a bigger thing to where now you're going to structure the short film to position you to get funding for the bigger project? So it is not frowned upon. It's just about, that is a part of developing it, like making those decisions. Don't make it so vague to where it doesn't have any meaning behind it. Like I purposely made my short films to be short films, but that is a strategy that you can use in order to secure funding for your projects, whether you never know, it could go viral or it could be really successful at a film festival. Like my film, because of the internet, was the first time there was a real demand for people wanted to see more. And I was like, I didn't write this for people to see more, but people wanted to see more. So I had to scramble and try to write episodes when really that was a lesson, right? That taught me like, okay, have intention behind your short films. Like people might want to see more. So even if you don't plan on doing it, planning for that would be wise, because you never know. HBO might see it and they come at you like, okay, like, we love this. Do you have a series Bible for this? And then now your back is against the wall. Like, okay, now you're scrambling when really, if you plan for this, you are like, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So
a perfect example of that is that the new Bel Air show that's about to come out. That started as like just it was like 3 or 5 minute short clip. Now it's going to be a whole series.
Yes, sir.
So absolutely, very, very good prime example of that.
Yes, sir. Donnie, you have a question?
What's up, everyone? I wanted to ask a question about the prepping for production. So I looked at that and it is extremely necessary, especially as an actor. Like you go in, you want to know which days your shoot days are, which scenes you're in. You want to show up at 8 and don't go until 3. But as someone who is wanting to create a film of my own, I'm not really a paperwork person. So whose job can that be? Like, who can I be like, hey, I want to hire someone to organize and structure all of this after I hand them the script to, dissect it and put all that paperwork together, because I don't want to get jumbled. That just seems very type A for me.
That's a great question. And I didn't want to get into the details of it because it could get it's a lot of information, right? But since you asked, so that's where producers come in handy. So a line producer is in charge of creating the budget for you, right? So you have the script. This is why it's really important to develop the idea. So now when you're trying to put this stuff together, like, well, first of all, it is your job to develop the idea. So if you have this idea, now it is on you to find, if you don't want to write it, you have to find a writer, right? You have to find a writer. If you don't necessarily want to take on the responsibility of producing it, you have to find the producer, whether it's a line producer to create the budget for you, or if you, usually the ADs are the ones making the call sheets, right? So now you just have to find an AD if you don't want to be the one to do that. At the time, I didn't know what none of this stuff was, so I was doing it by all my own. And then I finally learned, and then I brought on producers. And my one of my producers banged on me. He was like, "Bro, you're not supposed to be doing that. Let me do my job." And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm used to doing it. So yeah, so you find the specific roles that people are supposed to play, and that's what I'm talking about putting a team together. Like, so you have to really vet people, and you have to. It can be discouraging because, especially in LA, bro, there's so many cappers. Like, there's so many people that say they do stuff, and then you actually bring something to them, and they were capping the whole time. So it's like not only knowing the roles that you need to fill, but also vetting people and making sure the right people are involved with the project. So for me, I play sports, so it's no different than me getting a point guard, and then me being the point guard, and then me finding a shooting guard or a center. Like, everyone has to, like, the center can't be the point guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone has to, in order to have a strong team, we all have to be in unison to achieve the overall goal. So was that clear for you?
Yeah, it was very clear. Producer, line producer, they get the paperwork.
For sure. Jonathan, what's up?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback off of everything that you've been saying. While film is not perfect, guys, they'll never be perfect. Make sure you're communicating on set is the main thing that you need to ensure that things go a little bit more smooth, especially when you have hiccups. Like, have meetings after the day. Like, if you are an actor or another smaller role, if you observe something, don't just be gossiping about it. Just go and speak to production. Like, help people help themselves as well. Don't be so judgmental, because there's a lot of times people are so judgmental and so unforgiving that there's something that's not perfect that you cause more harm than good. So be mindful when you're on set of each other and support each other is what I just wanted to add.
Thank you for sharing that, bro. I agree 100%. Tamisha, did you have a question?
Yeah, I did. And it's specific to locations, because you said you wanted to make sure that you have a backup location. So my question was, when you're saying have a backup location, is it that you book multiple spaces in case one falls through? Do you like have a specific contract just to release that additional space so you're not charged double? I was just curious about that process.
Well, that, I guess what I was referring to was doing things on a shoestring budget, right? So if I'm going, I guess I should have specified. So if I don't have a lot of money, right, and I'm going and asking for a favor to shoot at this specific location, I definitely need to have a backup location just so that, doesn't fall through. Or if it does fall through, I have something to lean back on. Now, I would assume that if you are paying a place and now it's more about they are receiving something in return for the time that they're shutting down their restaurants, and contracts will be involved. So you're less likely to need a backup location, but it would be wise to have a backup location. But it's not necessarily, now paperwork is involved. It's like money, and I'm specifically talking about just starting off, and if you are getting favors from people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that now I don't, sorry, it makes so much more sense, because I was like, well, if you're paying for the space, then why are people backing out?
When I pulled up to the space, that's not a space that I was paying for. They were doing favors. So when they said that they overbooked or double booked, I had to submit to that, because I can't make them shut their business down. I was relying on them to do me the favor, do me the solid. So that's why it fell on me at the end of the day, because I didn't necessarily have a backup. We have to scramble, but moving forward, I make sure that I have backup and all that, and paperwork. Now it's like, I do things with the actual budget. So it's like, but I'm talking about just starting off guerrilla style. If you don't have a lot of money and you're asking people for favors, you need to have these things in place. So, but even, like I said, even if paperwork and money is involved, you want to still make sure that you're covering yourself and you're planning for the worst. So I don't want to sit here and say, don't worry about it. But I want to say that I just want to make it clear to actually like plan for the worst. Don't expect the worst, but plan for the worst.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Hey, Ron, what's the deal?
What's going on?
How you doing, brother?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing well by God's grace.
So my question is, so I have a documentary film that is in talks with several networks and streaming sites right now. It's called Dream Chaser. Please follow me, Aaron T. Lee 13, Twitter, Instagram. It is a sports documentary. Initially, I made it for a network. They decided not to pick it up. So of course, I'm trying to get it out there with other networks, and I do have some interest. The issue is clearing rights to archive video that I used. So I used some NBA video, and as you know, the NBA is very expensive. They are charging me $15,000 per minute. So any advice about how to go about when you use archive video for documentary or just clearing rights to music within your projects?
So you've already made this project?
Yes, I shot it. I started my own production company, A-Lee Productions. I shot it with my whole entire team. It is a completed project. It just got accepted to the Toronto Indie Shorts Film Festival. It's been featured in a couple of magazines and articles, Chicago Sun-Times. So I'm from Chicago. So, but yeah, so it's already shot. It's ready to go. My biggest issue now is just clearing all the archive video that I use. I've used some NBA video. I've used some other pictures as far as NBA related because it is a sports film. So just trying to clear that with the NBA as that's just my only, like my last obstacle to getting this project out there. Now, some of the people that are interested, they want the film, but they said I have to clear the rights. So they're not trying to help me clear those rights, but also I have some people that are. It's just trying to negotiate with the NBA because they're a big entity and they could care less about, trying to come down on that price.
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, congratulations, brother. That's a big deal. So congrats.
Thank you, sir.
So I had an idea that came to my mind, but again, this is not, this is not what I'm saying to do. This is just an idea, a suggestion. Have you thought about, so you already have interest in it, right? So what if you put together a campaign to seek investors to help you pay those fees or pay that, to where now you're giving them an incentive. You're saying that I already have distribution lined up. All I need is clearance on this. And somebody could, you never know, an investor might be like, oh, that's easy. Like if I could be a producer or get a percentage off of this because they know it's going to go. So now like you have the leverage because you actually have interest as far as distribution. So now it's just about finding that money or finding that investor. It could be one, it could be three investors. You never know. But if I were you, I would try to put together a campaign and raise awareness to let people know, like, look, I have interest in this. I have interest in this. And if I can just clear this, boom, it'll take off. So that's actually an incentive for an investor to want to invest. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I put together I did a private screening for like investors. I set up like a GoFundMe and I was able to raise a portion of the money, nowhere near 15 grand. But yeah, I have like looked into investors and even trying to get someone to be an executive producer.
All you need is 15 grand?
That's the main thing. There's some other thing like music and stuff that's a couple more grand, but the biggest thing is the NBA because they're not trying to come down on that price. And as an independent filmmaker, they're telling me, we don't know how big your film will be, so we want ours up front. It's kind of like they tax the middleman. The small guy. But again, I have worked with some ESPN producers on this film and they said, hey, we get video free from the NBA because we have a partnership with them. So it's like, the little guy has to pay more, because they don't know what the potential of the film could, go. So they want their money up front if this goes on to be something great. So
have you put together an actual budget of like everything that would cover everything?
Yeah, so I have a line item budget sheet. I'm starting to try to apply for some funding, some grants, some other things to seek, how to get this project out, because again, that's the only thing that's holding me back, is clearing all the rights to the archive video, the video that I did not shoot or I do not own.
Right. So my next question would be, can this project be without, not without it, but in replacement of the music? Maybe you find some royalty-free music, or you find a composer that can make similar music. And also, what are the archive? Is it actual pictures or is it video? Like what are you dealing with?
So, so the film, again, it's a Chicago-based film. So with the NBA, I had to reach out to Michael Jordan, because I don't know if you guys know, Michael Jordan has a contract with the NBA that you cannot use his name, image, and likeness without his written consent. So the film talks about Chicago basketball history, and of course I had to include Michael Jordan. So I reached out to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan has reviewed my film, and he has allowed me to use his name, image, and likeness for no extra cost. So I used that for leverage back to the NBA to say, hey, I got Michael's behind it. It's 15 grand. I offered them something smaller than that. I offered them 3 grand. I said, hey, I got 3 grand right now in my budget. I can send that right now. So I'm still waiting to hear back from them about that.
You can raise 15 grand, bro. That's please don't mistake my heart, but 15, you could raise 15.
I mean, I hear that, it's just been a challenge of trying to
go. There are people literally texting me right now saying that they want to help you. So this is like, just as far as I would love, we can talk offline as far as your strategy, as far as your campaign. But bro, you put together the right campaign and the right strategies. 15K is nothing, bro, to these investors. Like, that's like $1 for it's like they are waiting to invest in stuff like this, bro. So I would encourage you. I know it could be discouraging because it's a long process, but 15K, bro, we'll talk. I promise you can get that.
Okay, connect with me.
I have a question. Was it 15K in general or 15K per minute?
So I use literally 51 seconds of NBA video. That includes Michael and a couple of other people from Chicago, like Nick Anderson, Dwayne Wade, Derrick Rose. So altogether, it added up to 51. So what I had to submit to the NBA was the context I used the video, like what the people I interviewed, what they said about each player and everything, and they had to review it. So they came back with a number saying, Aaron, we're charging you 15K per minute of video. So I know other filmmakers where they charge them 4K per minute. So it's a case-by-case thing. So I kind of felt like, again, because I am my name's Aaron Lee, I'm not Spike Lee, I'm not known.
Wait, how long is the clip you said?
I use 51 seconds of NBA video.
So that's 15K.
That's 15K.
Yeah, it's 15K. Yeah.
So just 15K.
And what I'm telling you is 15K, bro. Don't even worry about that. 15K, easy.
Yeah, you could get that. I was thinking you were doing more minutes, and I was going to say, okay,
I use 51 seconds. Yeah, 51 seconds. That's it.
We'll talk, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it.
Does anyone have another question? We'll take one more question before we get into the next thing that I want to talk about.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to know your advice on like building a rapport as a director with actors, like what that process is like, or and as far as in the pre-production phase, because you get into wanting to plan out what you want to do, but you also have to build that rapport.
Yes, ma'am. My advice, and this is something that is funny because me and the filmmaker that I was talking about earlier, we talked about this a little bit too, but I would suggest taking acting classes, like understand how to communicate with actors and understand their language, because their own language, like I started off, I have a luxury, like I have an advantage because I started off as an actor. So when me and Ryan were talking, I was like, yo, what is the most difficult part of the pre-production process? And he was like, bro, like making this feel real, because you're dealing with boxing, you're dealing with a lot of stuff as far as Creed is concerned. So he was like, you probably are better at that than me because you're an actor. And I was like, you're right. Like, I understand, actors' language. I speak their language. So you have to, I would say, take acting classes and study how to communicate with actors, because they'll trust you more and you can pull more out of them because you understand how to. But most directors don't know how to speak to actors. So that's why, you see you can see the disconnect. I can see the disconnect on screen. So you want to be in unison with your actors, and you want them to trust you and make them feel like you understand them.
Okay, yeah, I had that advice before too. So that's confirmation.
Hey, that's the number one thing you need to do. Take acting classes, and then you'll start to see like, okay, this is the language. This is what they do. They use the fourth wall, like, or emotional memory. Like, you'll start to understand these terms that actors use. So now when you're using the term, it's like they know exactly the note that you're giving them. Now, if you don't know how to communicate notes to them, like that's a note. Like, yo, what is your fourth wall? Like, these are acting terms that they're trained to do. So you need to know how to communicate to them in their language.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So, okay.
Jumping in real quick. You actually answered two questions in one. I don't know if I'm just going to say it right, so I'll spell it. But VI$WA asked about if it's okay to work in a film crew when you're still kind of learning, and you kind of addressed that. Just being able to know all the different parts of it will help you in whichever role you're playing. So hope that answered your question in the chat as well. So yeah.
Yes, being on set, getting on set experience is the best thing. I wish I would have done it early in my career, because it now you understand how the set works and you learn the intricacies of it. Even being a PA, don't ever feel like you have to always have the mentality of you're a student and you're learning. You don't ever want to think that you got this figured out, because guess what? Even though you have a process on how you go about your process, each project is different with different people with different personalities. So it's all a new experience. So it's important to know all aspects so you have respect and appreciation for each crew member, all the way down to the PA, because without the PAs, nothing gets done. So all right, so now that we've gone over.
Romel, if I could just add something before you go ahead. Yes, just the banter between you and Aaron just now, that's the follow-up. Like, this is what it's all about, right? And I just love the way that played out, you know, Aaron, in expressing yourself and what you needed to make sure that your art came to life. You were able to build community, right? And so this is just, it's amazing to watch. This is what it's about. So that was good, really good.
Praise be to God. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that's literally, you know, why God put it on my heart to put this together. So the fact that to hear it from somebody else, that is confirmation for me. So that touches me and makes me feel good about what is transpiring here. So now that we've, you know, gone over what you need to know and what you need to do, and why it's important, now we can talk about the how. We can kind of get more in detail about how to put this all together, right? And I'm excited because I actually put together an 11-episode course that breaks down everything that you need to know and shows you how to get this done step by step. So this is a guideline and blueprint that literally I created that enables you to create your own yes and not wait around for Hollywood to do what you can do for yourself. So before I get into it, I want to show y'all this quick intro video that gives you a glimpse into the course and what it's all about. So check it out, and then afterwards we'll come back and discuss it in detail.
You gotta unmute your page. We can't hear it.
Short film because of the internet. Oh, my bad. Restarted. I'm sorry. Zoom didn't tell me that.
Here we go.
Got you.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Romel. I'm a filmmaker here in Los Angeles, and welcome to my DFS Creative course. I have written, directed, and produced 8 short films, and recently wrote 2 feature screenplays. My short film, Because of the Internet, appeared on Aspire TV. My film, Spirit of Injustice, premiered on Issa Rae's digital platform, Issa Rae Presents. And recently, my short film, John, was selected to premiere on Fox Soul's Screening Room. I've also worked in production on shows such as Snowfall, Insecure, and Colin in Black and White, to say the least. You can find my work on YouTube under Romel X Rose, or you could click the link in my bio to tap in. As a young creative in the industry, a lot of people hit me up asking how to get started in the business and how to put their projects together. So I made an 11-episode series outlining the steps and course of action you need to take in order to get started as an independent filmmaker. In season 1, I will be breaking down the process. I take an idea, turn it into a fully realized script, and then produce it and bring it to fruition. By the end of these 11 episodes, you will be equipped with the knowledge and resources that you need in order to get started as an indie filmmaker and produce your projects by doing for self. Just to give you a little backstory about me, I started off in this business as an actor. I trained, I studied hard, I auditioned, but I wasn't necessarily getting the opportunities that I felt like I should have been getting. So instead of complaining about the industry and complaining about the business, I decided to do for self and just make my own films. The goal was to give myself opportunities as an actor, which morphed into this passion and love for filmmaking that I have now. So I wrote my first short film, America's Pitbull. That changed my life because, you know, I linked up with my boy Adrian, who was a DP. I told him about this idea that I had, and we shot it, we executed, we put it online, and people loved it. The reception was great. We sent it to a few film festivals. It did really well, and it gave me the confidence to continue to write and develop my own stuff. So I hope this information finds you well, and that's enough talking. Let's get started. So that was the introduction. Of course, the course goes into much more detail, but this is Indie Filmmaking, the blueprint. So episodes 1 through 3 focus on mindset and how to take your idea and develop it. Episodes 4 through 9 focus on how to find collaborators and how to deal with pre-production all the way to post-production. And episodes 10 through 11 focus on distribution and finishing your work. So what all comes with the course? There's a 1-hour consultation, which we can go over what you're learning, extra questions. If you're stuck on an episode and don't know how to get through part of it, this is where a consultation will be beneficial. It comes with call sheet templates because call sheets are important for every solid production because they have call sheets dispersed at least a day prior to each shoot date. Shot list template, this is valuable because it helps you organize, it helps you be organized on the day, so you're not wasting everybody's time like we talked about. A shooting schedule, because without this, you don't have a shoot. So the times allotted for each scene need to be literally like set up and scheduled. So without these vital documents, you know, you're kind of like, boom, whatever. So it also comes with an 11-step story structure that I mentioned earlier that I use specifically to outline my screenplays and my stories. So this is key because it helps me specifically with the writing process and makes it easier because having a solid outline, all you need to do is plug in the scenes and sequences that you need in order to take your character on the journey. And all you have to do is really follow the outline, and it makes it very easy for you. I kind of just lay it out for you. And then also I include a bonus crowdfunding guide to help you raise your funds for your future projects. And basically this speaks for itself because you need money to make your projects, literally. And I've raised over $20,000 using this crowdfunding guide. I'm basically giving you all the resources that you need in order to get your projects off the ground. And I'm really doing this because like now we don't have excuses, all right? Like so many people don't know how to do things or don't know how to put this together. I'm literally giving you all the tools and all the sauce that you need. It's just about doing the work now. So it kind of takes away all the excuses, and it's like, all right, are you serious about this? Are you going to put the work in to actually do it now that you have the knowledge and the resources? And all of this is really valued like way more than I'm actually pricing it right now. But in actuality, it's actually valued way more than what I'm pricing it because you're saving so much time and money because what it took me to learn in 10 years, I started this 10 years ago. It's about to be 10 years. Like what I learned in 10 years, you can literally learn it in a week or however long it takes you to like finish the course. You can finish the course at your own pace. There's no pressure, but yeah. One more thing I want to say is this is the first time I'm offering this course to the masses. Like filmmakers that I know have already seen benefits from taking the course, and I'm confident that it will add value to you if you are getting started and you have these ideas that you don't really know how to produce and develop and bring to fruition. So another thing I want to say is you can also find testimonials on the sales page. So even though all of this is valued at $2,150, you know, since you guys are here today, and I know you guys are serious, and just to show my appreciation, I actually want to offer it. Oh, well, let me say this. Since you guys actually showed up, because y'all didn't show up for me. Like I'm looking at this like, all right, you guys really showed up for yourself at the end of the day. And that's the number one thing that you'll learn in this business. Like showing up is literally the first step in order to be successful, because a lot of people don't even do that. They say they want to do things and they don't actually show up. So the fact that y'all showed up on a Saturday really means a lot to me, for real. So I want to show my appreciation and offer it to you guys at a price of $1,500 since you guys are here with the promo code do for self, because I want it, like I said, I want to get this in the hands of people who are serious and have an impact on, and I know what impact it could have if you actually take heed. And I say that humbly, but I know what it did for me. And I know what it's done for other people who are filmmakers, who are colleagues of mine who've taken the course. So yes, I humbly say that I truly believe that this will add value to your productions and your overall endeavors. So if you click the link, Valencia will put the link in the chat, and you use the promo code do for self, you can get it at that price. And I also want to say this course is not only for filmmakers. This course is also for actors looking to create their own content and produce their own roles. Like we said before, this is for entrepreneurs who want to get better with sharing their story and connecting with their audience. This is also for brands who want to utilize storytelling as a tool to communicate to their audience. So it's not just for filmmakers, but I just wanted to say that. I think, Tiffany, are you still here? You want to I don't want you to come on here and cap, like actually tell the truth, like tell people your experience with the course if you are still here.
I'm still here.
How you doing? You look good.
I'm doing, thanks. Stop. Oh, God, you always make it more. Anyways, yes, I took Romel's course, and just a little backstory on me. I'm actually a previous filmmaker. So I filmed my first film, Toxic, in Columbus, Ohio, where I'm from. And I did that with like money I had, like literally God provided the money on my check one day, and I'm like, okay, you really want this film made? So I didn't know what I was doing at all. Like I had just wrote the script in like an hour. I had recently met a DP and did it, and it went well, but it could have gone way better. So taking Romel's course, I came into it with that knowledge, like, oh, I've already done this, like I know what I'm doing. And then when I took his course, I realized like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing that much. And just the way that the classes went, the way that it was like all broken down and like laid out for me. And it was just told in such a very simplistic way. And it gave me the confidence that I needed for the short that I'm producing now. And Romel definitely offered his time. He read my script, like he actually made it better. And, you know, just helped. He did make it better. The ending was trash, and he helped the ending.
It was not trash. Don't do that. It was not trash. It was good.
It needed work, but Romel came in and helped. So he offered his time, his expertise, his assistance. And I feel like going into this next project, I feel way more confident and way more equipped, and I have the team that I need. And you know, the biggest thing I'm working on now is funding, but outside of that, like I just feel confident. And I was telling him, like, I feel even more confident to make my first feature, because I've just only done shorts thus far, and I never felt like, it just seemed like such a daunting task. But after I took the class and, you know, he really broke down that 11-step structure, I felt more confident to really go into making my feature and not feeling overwhelmed by it. So thank you for doing the work and laying it out simply for me to be able to understand. And I think a lot of people will really benefit from this. It's worth the value of it. It's worth every dollar. And it'll really help you to be a filmmaker, or to start as a filmmaker, or to become a better one. So.
Wow, thank you. I didn't expect you to say all that, but I appreciate that, and all praise is due to God for sure for even putting this on my heart. So the fact that you saw value in it and it helped you, that means everything to me, because that's really what it's about. So thank you for sharing that. Wow. Does anybody have any questions?
Before we get to questions, feel free to jump in if you guys have questions. But again, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but VI$WA just said, is it normal to feel nervous when you go in to submit your film for a film festival? And I think that's important to cover, because you address having that confidence and mindset and preparation within your course. So I don't know if you want to just talk about a little bit, kind of you dive, because it's easy to say, be confident. It's easy to say, do the work, it's going to be great. But there's a blockage sometimes that we even creators put on ourselves, and you address that in the course too.
Yeah, so I would say it's normal, because you don't know how people are going to respond to it. All this is nervous. Like, I'm nervous right now doing this. Like, what? Like, I've never done like, courses and I really had to take my own advice. I'm telling in the course, I'm talking about, finish your work, make sure that you're doing, don't let fear stop you. And I'm over here calling my friends like, man, I'm nervous doing this. This is a new endeavor. And I had to take my own advice. Like, all right, this course and I'm just being candid and transparent. Like doing this course it was scary. It's like, I don't want to waste people's time or people going to find this valuable, but God put it on my heart for a reason. So I can't let the fear or the nerves stop me. Like I have to figure out how to utilize this. And I mean, people will tell you all the time, but I really believe this. Like if it doesn't make you nervous, then you better look twice at it, because that is the test. It's like, are you going to, like, even though God may have put something on your heart, are you going, who are you going to submit to? Are you going to submit to the fear or the nerves, or are you going to submit to him what he's telling you to do? So that's how I look at life. Like even when I'm feeling nervous or I'm afraid to do something, I don't let that stop me. I'm gonna do it scared. So I would say yes, like the nerves is a normal thing. That's never gonna go away, but you have to learn how to utilize it and use it to your advantage, because it's gonna be there no matter what. So, and I'm not perfect at it. I'm still learning day by day. Sometimes I need validation. I need people to tell me like, all right, yo, what you doing? Like that right there, like what Tiffany just said, like I could cry for real, because it's like, that means a lot to me because I care, you know what I mean? So short answer, it's normal. Y'all not about to get me to cry on here. I'm not doing it. Nope.
Hey, Romel, I had a quick question about the course. Once you purchase it, do you have access to it for a certain time period, or how does that work?
It's yours, bro. It's your,
Okay.
and I'm gonna be adding to it. I'm gonna be updating it. So you get what's in there. And then of course, as I get feedback and as I'm understanding what people want and people's needs, I'm going to add to it. So you'll have it for a lifetime, my brother. And yeah, I'm gonna be adding to it and receiving feedback. So I'm looking at it as like a relationship. It's like not something that you just gonna buy and then that's just it. It's like, nah, I'm gonna be communicating and I'm here to help as much as I can. But it's like, how many conversations can we have versus like, all right, I think it's more important to actually structure this stuff and give it and feed it that way, to where I even break it. The structure is like a television series. It's like, that's why I say episodes. It's like, I want you to get in this creative mode of like, this is how the structure is, and this is how this goes. So yes. I hope I answered your question. I'm rambling right now, but yeah.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Does anybody have any other questions about the topic, about the course, about anything before we close out? We might run a little over than 3 p.m. today, but I think it's important to, I care about this for me is God, and then my family. Is my auntie still here? God, my auntie, and then this. Love you, auntie. But
I love you too. I just want to say, after this is over, Aaron, fall back. I want to chat with you. I know a couple of people in the basketball industry.
Yeah,
okay, we'll do.
That's the plug right there. Look, season ticket holder over time and stuff. Okay, so yeah. Okay, thank you guys for coming once again. I'm trying to gather myself because it's a lot for me right now. But thank you guys again for coming. I really do appreciate it. I can't express enough. Like I said, you guys could have been anywhere drinking mimosas at somebody's brunch, but y'all are here. So again, the course is a guideline and a blueprint that will enable you to create your own yes and not wait around for Hollywood to do what you can do for yourself. All right. This is not only for filmmakers. The course is also for actors looking to create their own content, looking to create their own roles. This is also for entrepreneurs who want to get better with sharing their story and connecting with their audience. And this is also for anyone who has a brand that is trying to utilize storytelling as a means to communicate to your audience. This will break down how to develop your ideas in the form of a story, literally. So here, you guys have the link, you guys have the promo code. Did I mention that? Okay, the promo code. Wow, I don't even think I said this. The promo code is only it's only till Monday the 15th. So you only have till Monday to use the promo code, and then they'll go to the original price. Maybe I said that. I don't remember if I said that, but I want to reiterate that. This is not a lifetime promo code. So yes, please get in when you can. And the dates for the next follow-up will be dropping soon. So please stay tuned for that. And lastly, everyone, one more time, put your social medias in the chat so we can all follow each other, because it's not about just following, it's about following up. You know, it's nothing to hit up somebody that you met here. Hey, Valencia, you know, hey, Lauren, I really loved what you had to say. I want to connect and see how we could support each other in real life and not just on social media, because a lot of people just follow each other and what are we doing? It's like, now it's time to unite. It's time to do things in a real way. The world is in a very interesting space right now. So we all need to come together and unify. It's not a joke. And it's like, this is a step towards that. So I thank you guys again. All praises due to God. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Follow the follow-up LA. I didn't even plug the follow-up, but yeah, if y'all not already following the follow-up, then follow the follow-up, because I'm gonna follow y'all back and then we're gonna follow up. You feel me? All right. Valencia, you got anything you want to close out with?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna be redundant, but thank you all. I hope and I know, but I humbly say I hope and I know that this is valuable, just based off of the chat conversation. And as you guys are getting each other's Instagrams, when you follow people today, shoot them a message to let them know, hey, I saw you at the follow up, because a lot of times, you know, you just made your face on the Zoom and the face in the IG picture, you got to make the connection. So DM them and be like, hey, make sure you have to follow up. We'd love to connect and whatnot. But also, like Romel said, if you have any other questions about the course, feel free. You may think of something later you want to ask Romel. Feel free to message him and ask your questions, because I've seen him put in the work for this course. And as someone who has done courses, taken a lot of courses, there's a lot of flack out there that ain't worth nothing. Okay. And he gonna, just like with Tiffany, we ain't capping. I ain't got to lie, Craig. I ain't got to lie to kick it. I know that this is going to get into the hands of more people that need to use it, and it will help create their own creations that'll touch more people and so on and so forth. So I saw someone also say in the chat that they think that they know people that this will be beneficial for. Feel free to share it. Feel free to share and just ask your questions if you have any. And again, thank you guys. And like we've already been saying, this is what it's about: connecting, sharing resources, and just staying connected. So thank you guys. And we definitely appreciate your time. It does not go unappreciated, undervalued, or unnoticed. So thank you.
All right, we'll leave about 2 more minutes in the chat, just so 2 more minutes before we close out, so you guys could follow each other in the chat. Yeah, for now we'll vibe out. Aaron, please stick around. I have someone who wants to speak to you.
Yeah, so feel free to grab what you need from the chat. If we all stare into the camera, it won't be awkward. But no, we are wrapping up. But again, grab what you need from the chat. If you have any final questions, feel free to throw them out there. And Romel's gonna kick the vibes.
I'm trying to find that music.
That music.
I do it till you tap for a large amount. And when the beat come, you know where to be found. Why I be around till the winner is announced. Then you go girl with thousands in your palm. Why you can't let bygones be bygones? If I can live without love, thinking of you, amaze me, baby, like I'm the only one for you. But girl, I won't be, oh yeah, I need you, baby.
All right, we're gonna close out in 1 minute. Well, now. So how should we do this? So Valencia, are you here? I'm stuttering.
No, you're good. Listen, those of y'all that are still here, appreciate y'all. Go ahead and exit the Zoom, or we will politely place you out the Zoom.
Well, I was gonna
But,
say, I was just gonna say, let's maybe end it and then come back. Like, you guys have the link, right?
No, we'll just let the people know because
Okay.
we already.
All right. Okay.
All right. Yeah. If y'all need us, hit us up on IG. And that's a wrap. Yeah.
Peace.
Hey, Angelique. Yo, Angelique, real quick, is your dog around? I wanted to see the dog.
Okay, let me wait. Daffodil, come. Ugh, come here. Hold on. Daffodil, come. Okay, come.
Oh, that's a big dog.
Aww.
And she's a puppy.
Hey, Daffodil.
She's a boxer.
That's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Okay. Sorry, I know we were wrapping. I just needed to see the dog from earlier. It was on my brain.
Yeah, she's 9 months.
Aw.
Yeah, she's gonna get bigger. So. Okay, I know.
Okay, if you're still on, and we're just gonna start removing y'all, but if you need to sit up on IG, okay, all right, boom, and boom, okay, all right. Hold on, a couple more. Boom.
Boom. I didn't even know you could do that.
Yes,
I was about to create a new breakout room.
Nah, you don't have to. And last but not least, boom. All right, gang's all here.
Hey, Aaron.
Hello.
I have nowhere near the expertise that these two young people have. However, I do know a lot of people, a lot of places.
That's good to know.
So what do you need? What are you looking for?
So like I said, I didn't want to put it out there. So originally this film was supposed to be an ESPN 30. My day job, I am executive sports producer for NBC Houston. So I do television. I went to school for television and film. So, but I also, my passion is film, and I have my own